I've always said, Molineux is a very difficult place to go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Gunners, good morning, Gooniverse, good morning, Arsenal world, good morning, Alice. How are we doing this fine Wednesday morning? I'm your host, Edwin Ash, and it's time for another Big Arsenal Breakfast Show. Thank you for joining us. If you feel inclined, please like and subscribe. Obviously, helps the channel. If you want to get involved, you want to have your say, then obviously you can jump into the chat, or you can send us a message at Big Arse Breakfast on TikTok, at Big Arse Breakfast on Insta, at Big Arse Brekkie on X, and at Big Arse Breakfast.bsky.social. That is such a mouthful. I cannot get used to saying that every morning. Find us on Blue Sky, basically. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can email us. show@bigarsenalbreakfast.com. That's show@bigarsenalbreakfast.com. Boy, have we got a lot to get into today. Let's start with some of the results last night, shall we? Some of the results last night. Ooh, Molineux, eh? Tough place. Yeah, did not see that coming. Didn't see that coming at all. Or did I? I mean, Wolves have been playing a lot better recently. No two ways about it. They played quite well against us. They're playing well in the league. It's a shame for them that it's come so late in the season. I don't think they're going to overhaul at this point, I think 13-point gap at the bottom. But they are definitely up for ruining some other people's parties, and they almost certainly ruined ours. So, yeah, keep an eye on Wolves. Other results from last night. Bournemouth and Brentford played out a stalemate, 0-0. Leeds opened the door to Spurs, didn't they? They lost 1-0 at home to Sunderland. By no means a tragedy for Leeds, because Sunderland are a good team, but it's getting a little bit touchy at the bottom there, isn't it? And especially for Burnley, who lost 2-0 to Everton. So, yeah, it's go time, isn't it? Squeaky bum time, as some old fart once said. And on today's show, we're going to preview a little bit the Brighton game tonight. It's game day, baby. It's game day. I hope you're excited. And we're also going to have, well, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but I think we're going to have to recap a little bit of the set piece agenda, because that is a story that just will not die. It will not die. It will not go away. It's all over the socials yesterday. Obviously, newspapers, media alike, getting a lot of mileage out of it, getting a lot of engagement from the Arsenal fans. I'm now guilty of that, because I'm going to talk about it a little bit in this show. But then hopefully, it'll die a very quick death. I must say, trolling through the socials yesterday, I did not have Tony Pulis on my bingo card as people that would stick up for Arsenal. He basically came out and said that's one of the weapons that Arsenal have in their locker, and continue to praise our very good style of football. So, Tony Pulis, have you gone up in my estimations? No. I mean, and on the agenda, there are some moments where you think, why do these people even bother to hide the fact that they hate Arsenal? Now, I understand it. Paul Scholes, right? Paul Scholes, I get it. Right, you hate Arsenal. I understand that. Nicky Butt and the other dude on their Ugly Footballers show been going on about basically how no one deserves to win the league. No one deserves to win the league, which I think is probably code for we think Man United should win the league because they've had 5 games of playing decent football. And you can see it. They basically... If it were up to them, they'd be like, I think we should give it to Man United. We should do the procession. Maybe we can sellotape our cocks together and present them with the trophy. I mean, it's at this point, it's really rage baiting and galling, isn't it? But I understand it. I mean, particularly with Paul Scholes. If he hates Arsenal, I understand it, because then he'd be getting a bit nervous at this stage of the season. And I tell you, when you get nervous, you start biting them old nails, don't you?
Brother, what's that?
Anyway, moving on. Let's have a little crack at this agenda then. A little crack, and then I promise you we will preview some actual football today. Yesterday, all over the socials, I thought Pep Guardiola said it quite well. if you want to go and have a look at his interview, he said that you can complain or you can adapt. It's a part of the game. Yeah, that's it. It is a part of the game. It will change. People will figure it out. Things will move on. There will be other styles of play to counteract what's currently the most effective way to get goals in football. Right on, Pep. Harry Semiyu posted. Harry Semiyu from obviously Chronicles of Guna. If you don't know Chronicles of Guna, go and check it out. I'm sure you do. But he reposted this quite interesting fact from EPL Bible. Harry said 4 teams in the Premier League with a higher percentage of set-piece goals than set-piece FC. Remarkable stuff. And let's just have a quick look at those stats. So EPL Bible posted in the Premier League, Crystal Palace have 30 goals, 15 from set pieces. That's a 50% set piece rate. Newcastle have 40 goals, 19 from set pieces. That's 49%. Leeds 37 goals, 17 from set pieces. That's 46%. Chelsea 49 goals, 19 set pieces. That's 39%. And Arsenal way down in 5th. They are way down in 5th with 58 goals, only 22%. 22 goals come from set pieces, which is 38%. So, again, we said this yesterday. When Arsenal do it, it's terrible. When everyone else does it, and I get it. It's it's part and parcel of being top of the league. It's part and parcel of being what I can not quite understand is the most hated club in the UK. But we have to suck it up. We have to suck it up. Yeah, someone reposted this thing. It's like, the hypocrisy. A few years ago, you remember we lost that game to Brentford on the opening day of the season when Carragher and Neville were jumping around celebrating with the fans, which personally I didn't really have that much problem with. That doesn't bother me. You know what? They're there for a good time. Who really cares? But what did bother me slightly is that on that week, Jamie Carragher posted, "It's just Arsenal, weak, bullied, men against boys. Again, new season, same old story." When we succumbed to a 2-0 loss at newly promoted Brentford, in which Christian Norgard scored against us. So, yeah. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say at the time that Arsenal were weak and bullied and weak mentality and all that stuff, and then complain about us when we adapt, grow, change, lean into the dark arts. I mean, teams have been doing it for years, but again, Arsenal not allowed to do it. Not on my watch, buddy. Ruud Gullit had a lot to say about the game on Sunday. He said, "I have decided to stop watching football. I don't enjoy our sport anymore. I watch Arsenal versus Chelsea. What an absolute garbage match of football." Don't disagree fully there, Ruud. Don't disagree fully. It wasn't a great game of football. I think you're focusing only on the 3 goals that were scored. As I said, if that's what breaks the deadlock, if that's what you need to use to get the game open, then so be it. He went on to say, "I see players trying to create corner kicks, trying to create throw-ins. I see ball boys ready to give towels to the players. Football has become absolutely horrible. I hope that this is not the path we are heading at. I am waiting for players who will take on defenders again, someone like Lamine Yamal. I'm missing the joy. I just don't enjoy football anymore. Everyone is executing tasks on the pitch. Where are the players dribbling? Where are the players with balls? Okay. Where are the players with balls? Why is everyone passing? Well, that's quite simple, Ruud. And I know you know this, but it's because you lose the ball. Teams are incredibly good at transitioning now. Their patterns of play for transitioning are way more advanced than their patterns of play for set pieces. It's dangerous to give the ball away. Now, look, I agree with him to a certain degree. It's not always pretty. It isn't always pretty across every team in the league who are trying to do this. It is challenging to watch at times, but also people seem to forget that we, Arsenal, and many teams have scored some absolutely outstanding, beautiful goals. It's not like it was in the 80s. It's not every second long ball football. Don't forget, we're still playing out from the back every time, which to me, I get a bit bum twitchy, don't you? I mean, there's still a lot of that going on. There's still people creating great patterns of play and scoring good goals. I don't see what the focus on the set pieces is. Yes, there's a few more goals from set pieces, but it's because the game is so well managed. Game states now are micromanaged by managers, players, the instructions that they have to keep in their minds on the pitch. I don't know how modern day players, deal with this. I really don't. They've got to remember so much to get every incremental tiny little victory to get themselves up the pitch, to get themselves into a position to score. And transitions, i.e. people dribbling, high risk, high reward, but very high risk. I'd love to see a bit more of it, but then all we'd ever see is people complaining about, every team's so shit. They gave the ball away and the opposition scored. Oy. John Cross, if you want in defence of Arsenal, John Cross had a article on Mirror about it. He said Arsenal may be winning ugly as the title race comes down to the stretch, but John Cross Mirror argues that they are just doing what the rest of the Premier League is doing, but just doing it better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure we are doing it better, given those statistics I just read out. I don't think we are doing it the best, considering the amount of corners that we get. But again, the focus is on us because we're Arsenal and people don't like us. And I got to say, some funny news out of yesterday, which I thought was quite good. Unrelated topic on our, I wouldn't even say rivals, our neighbours. Tottenham Hotspur players face wage cuts if relegated from the Premier League. Most contracts include clauses to lower salary, vast majority by 50%, in the event of going down. Provision placed in all deals under Levy. See, Levy wasn't all that bad, was he, Spurs fans? Come on, he had some sense. And then, also in Tottenham-related news, it's quite funny from Mike Keegan at the Daily Mail. Tottenham bosses are deeply unimpressed with new Arsenal supporting academy scout after he joked about not wanting his badge to touch his skin. Yeah, I'd probably be the same. You know what? There'll be people out there going, why is he taking a job at Tottenham? We all need money. We all got to work. We all got families to feed, yo. So I don't begrudge the guy. And if you're going to have to work for Tottenham, then definitely do not let that badge touch the skin. Right. Let's have a look at the head of the game against Brighton. What did the boss have to say yesterday in the presser? Well, I've snipped this from the BBC website, truncated version. Arteta is hopeful Declan Rice is going to be okay after being taken off with a knock during their 2-1 win over Chelsea. Arteta said he was much better today. David Raya is also good to go for Wednesday's game, while Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard will be assessed before a decision is made on the pair. More cryptic stuff from the boss there. Ben White is unavailable, but Max Dowman is fit to play. Ooh. I just got an inkling Max can play some sort of part in the end of the season, a magic moment. I just got that feeling in my waters. He went on to say Arsenal had to do much better with the ball in game actions in the late stage of the Chelsea game, and its players have to continue to learn if they are to avoid such tight matches. Yeah, they bloody do. Not sure I can handle tonight's match if it's going to be another tighty. You said about their criticism they've received for set pieces is part of the job, and they want to be the best and most dominant team in every aspect of the game. Despite scoring the most set pieces goals this season, he said he's upset his side have conceded from them as well in recent weeks. Yeah, aren't we all, Mikel? On Brighton, he said, a very good side in the way they were coached and what they want to do. They believe in what they want to do. A little bit of Brighton news ahead of the game. Yasin Ayari is in, returns from a shoulder injury. Mats Vifa is I don't even know that guy. That's pretty bad. I'm sat here pretending like I know who that is. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Mats Vifa. Vifa, I think. Whatever it is, I know him very well, obviously. Late fitness test for him. Baleba is likely to step in. James Milner is a rotation risk, really. At 40 years old, I'm not surprised. So he might be rested due to fixture congestion, I think. Welbs is fit and in form and expected to start. I just hope, just for tonight, Welbs, just for tonight, Danny, don't be that guy. They've got some long-term absentees in Webster, Simas. Solly March is back in training, I think, but he's not fit yet. So it'll likely be a bit of wing rotation. Mitoma, I'm doing a little bit of digging about Mitoma. not having a great season this season. I think even some of the fans have recognised that something isn't quite right with him. Either he's gassed or busted or something. So Minter or De Kuiper probably come in to manage the fatigue. And Hürzeler had some interesting comments to say about Arsenal's corner routines, but we're going to come to that in just a bit. We'll come to that later. Predicting 11. This is what I think Arteta's going to go with. And I would like you to get involved. If it's not too late, at Big Arsenal Breakfast, at Big Arsenal Breakfast on Insta and TikTok. That's at Big Arse Breakfast on TikTok and Insta. And then on X, it's Big Arse Brecky. And then find us on Blue Sky because I can't be bothered to read it out. So I reckon it'll be Raya in goal. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié at left back. I would personally like to see Calafiori if he's fit, but I think we're going to go with something similar than the other day. Zubimendi and Rice in the midfield. I really wish he wouldn't risk Rice. I don't know what we've bought Norgard for. We can't trust him in a game like this. I don't think he's been bad when he's made his cameos. He's a smart player. I think the risk of Rice is, I wouldn't like to see that gamble. I think, I don't want to jinx it. Saka on the right. I reckon Eze will retain his spot in the middle. Can't see Ødegaard coming back in. Martinelli and on the left and Gyökeres up front. Maybe Mosquera should come in for Timber at right back. I thought he played well against Chelsea. Definitely an option. Timber is gassed. We only got 60 minutes out of him on Chelsea. It's a midweek game. I don't know. I mean, Arteta he likes a risk, doesn't he? So, that's your preview. Moving on to every day the same. It's the Big Arsed Opinions. Apart from the two penalties you gave away.
Way too dry.
Ooh, that's right. That sound can only mean it's time for some Big Arse Opinions. Some of them will be brilliant. Maybe some of them will be stinky. But let's have a little look what people have been saying around the Twitterverse. Now.Arsenal on Blue Sky said Arsenal started this season on Sunday, the 17th of August, 2025. That's 198 days ago. Mikel Arteta's side have played 44 competitive games in all competitions. They've only lost 3 in that period. Touching wood. If you can hear me bumping my desk, that's me touching wood. All coming by 1 goal. Ignore the outside noise. Yeah, amen to that. Only 3 losses, man. Touch wood. What else has been going on? Orbinho, this is not so much an opinion, but a good stat. Between August and December in the Premier League this season, Arsenal scored just 11 goals in 9 away games, an average of 1.2 per game. Since the turn of the year, they've netted 14 goals in 6 on the road, an average of 2.3 per game. Now, I like that. That's a stat I can get on board with. Can we see that going up? Let's see that trending upwards. Wouldn't it be great if that became 8 goals per game in an away game? Orbinho, if you don't know him, check him out at Orbinho. I mean, he's brilliant. Everyone knows him. Clive Palmer. Oh, Clive. The voice of reason. Love Clive Palmer of the Arsenal Vision podcast parish. Clive Palmer said, everyone seems so desperate to stop Arsenal winning. The fear is palpable. The atmosphere for a fair referee performance at Brighton means Chris Kavanagh has an impossible job. Yeah, I sort of read that the same way. Clive continues, just win, lads. Let's open play them to distraction by any means necessary. Yes, Clive. Yes, indeed. And then let's have a little look at what Hürzeler had to say. For me, the main topic is to make a clear rule how much time you can waste for a corner. For a throw-in, for a free kick, I think no one recognises it. But when Arsenal has a corner and they are leading, sometimes they spend over 1 minute just to take a corner. Yes, we do. And do you know why? Because it works. There is a psychological sense of foreshadowing, shall we say, when Arsenal go over to take a corner. It is obviously a directive from Nicolas Jova to take your time to make the defence. I'm not going to say panic, but they get a bit restless, don't they? That sense of anticipation with all the noise surrounding our corners and set pieces, it's obviously something that Arsenal are playing into and trying to feed into. The fact that Fabian Hürzeler has complained about it, to me, is evidence that it's working. It winds people up. Look, we as fans, we don't always like. I don't like it when we take slow throw-ins. I don't have a problem with us taking slow corners. I really, really don't. It seems to work. It creates that sense of anticipation, as I said. And obviously, in the case of Fabian Hürzeler, it's driving him mad. We should keep doing it. If anything, maybe we should take 2 or 3 minutes per corner. So that's a lot of big ass opinions going around the Twitterverse and socialverse yesterday. But it's game day, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get to game day, we just have one more opinion.
Instant karma take of the day.
That's right, ladies and gents. It is the instant karma take of the day. The take of the day that is effectively focusing on how we remain calm. Ian Herbert at the Daily Mail has said, and I just, this feeds into what I've been talking about. So not quite understanding why we are the most hated club in the UK, but I'm sure anyone that sees this who's not an Arsenal fan will pile and go, it's because you're all a bunch of twats. Ian Herbert said, Arsenal, a team pushing for a Premier League title with no financial chicanery and whilst virtually breaking even. Something rather excellent about that. And he's got a column about it in the Daily Mail, which I think is worth checking out. And I think he's right. I you know what? I would say, look, rivalries aside, I'd say there's only one other team in the Premier League in that top 4-6 that deserve that kind of notice for not being financial doping cheats, and that would be Liverpool. For all of my gripes or rivalries or bitterness towards Liverpool, I would have to put my hands up and say, look, they tend to do things the right way. They really do. And I think it should be lauded, really. It is a strange universe that we live in the Premier League, whereby people can get 115 charges and not be lambasted for it, or they can be owned by really iffy owners, or, spend £3 billion in 2 years and get considered a plucky young upstart kind of team. And yet when Liverpool do it, they get lauded. Arsenal, it's not really quite there, is it? I don't think. But yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. As football changes and as fans, really, I know a lot of us probably would say, hey, if we got bought out by, multi-bazillion, cajillion dodgy owner, some fans wouldn't care if we went on to be successful with that kind of financial backing and chicanery, as Ian Herbert said. But I think I would. I don't know. Hand me all the trophies, then ask me. But ultimately, I still want our club to act like a good club. But yeah, check out Ian Herbert's column. Right, it is game day. It is game day. And on game day, we ask you to get involved at Big Arse Breakfast on TikTok, Insta, and at Big Arse Brecky on X. And we're over on Blue Sky as well. And basically on game day, what we're asking for is your team talks. What would you say to the team if you had them in the palm of your hands in the dressing room?
Keep it simple.
One touch, two touch.
And then go in the mixer.
Get it on the deck.
Sie inverted wingbacks need to occupy the half space to create a numerical overload in the center pivot.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Big Arse Team Talk time. As I said, feature of the show on game day. Every game day. We want you to get involved. We want you to send in what you would say to the team if you had the opportunity. I know that I have daydreamed about this a lot, and I'd love a chance to have a chat to the team on game day. But anyway, I've got a couple that have been emailed in. N5 Neil said, lads, look at the table. 5 points clear in March. This is where champions are made. Brighton want to talk about our corners. Let them talk. While they're complaining to the ref, we're putting the ball in the net. Stay professional, stay nasty, and bring those 3 points back on the bus. Come on, Gunners. Slightly more abstract one from the Ghost of Highbury. He said, the grass at the Amex is too green. It's a trap. Hi, Havertz, don't look at the Seagulls. They have shifty eyes. Just run in straight lines and smell the victory. It smells like overpriced artisan coffee. Win for the ghost. Win for the concrete. I don't have a fucking clue what that means. Rice Baby emailed in and said, Mikkel, sweetie. Bit sumptuous. I'm not sure Mikkel would like being called sweetie, Rice Baby. She said, Mikkel, sweetie, if Declan's not right, let him sit on a gold throne on the sidelines. We don't need him to run. We just need his vibe. She goes on saying, just tell Ben White there's a tanning salon in Brighton that closes at 10 p.m. He'll have the game wrapped up by half-time. Easy 3-0 win. Wow. I bloody hope so. And that's your team talks. Game day. Wherever you're watching the game today, enjoy it. Don't forget, we've got the podcast. You can find us at the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show on all of your podcast places where you like to go. Get in touch every day. You can see the handles again. Like and subscribe if you feel that way inclined. But yeah, if you're in the office, if you're on site, working from home, whatever you do today, make it a great, great day. Get your arse in gear, and we'll see you tomorrow again for an almost instant match reaction. 7 a.m. tomorrow. Get your arse in gear. See you then.